postseason. Delvin Young, 280 hitter, 8 homers, 15 runs batted in. And everybody knows he's ready to fire on the first one. Bases loaded. Young swings, line drive. That is down and to the wall. Cruz is in. Pierce is in. Hardy around third. He's going to try to score. And safe. The Orioles have the lead.
How did the Orioles get to this moment? Well, it definitely wasn't easy. The Orioles were pretty bad since 1997 in their last playoff appearance. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the entire 2010s for the Orioles and their success and eventually their fall to one of the worst teams in baseball now. So, it started out in 2010. The Orioles were 63-99. In the season, they had 3 different managers with Dave Tremblay, Juan Samuel, and eventually Buck Showalter, I like our guys, are pretty much our long-term manager for the 2010s. At the time, our best players were Nick Markakis, who hit .297 and hit 12 home runs that year. He had been more of a power hitter in the past, and he had never been showing huge power for as high as a pick he was. Our best pitcher was Jeremy Guthrie with a .383 ERA, 11-14. The ERA is not bad, but 11-14 isn't great, and he never really was a guy to rack up wins for us, but he would throw a decent game sometimes. Then we had Brian Roberts. He was aging. He only played 59 games that year. He had a really good season in 2009, and he was an All-Star 2 previous times before, unlike Nick Markakis, who never made an All-Star team. But Brian Roberts, that was really his first season. He was pretty much gone for the whole season with an injury, and that trend would continue through the 2010s because, now he doesn't even play anymore. And he'd be old anyways, but he just had a ton of injuries and stuff. And then our best relievers were Jim Johnson, who was pretty young at the time and was a pretty good reliever. Koji Ohara, who was an older reliever, but this was his first full season, I do believe, and he was actually pretty good. He came over from the Japanese league, I believe, and he was good that year. And then David Hernandez, who wasn't great, but he went on in the 2010s to be a pretty decent reliever. And then Luke Scott was one of our best hitters, big power hitter for us. 284, 27 home runs, pretty good. Our top prospects at the time were Jake Arrieta, Zach Britton, Brian Mattis, Matt Wieters, Nolan Reimold, and Chris Tillman. Chris Tillman and Adam Jones, who was also on this team. Adam Jones was an All-Star the year previous. He was pretty good as well. Chris Tillman and Adam Jones were acquired for a trade where the Orioles traded Eric Bedard to the Seattle Mariners. Boy, that was a bad trade for the Mariners because the two ended up doing pretty well for the Orioles. And that year, we also drafted Manny Machado. So the 2010 season wasn't successful for the Orioles, but improvement was happening there. In 2011, despite having a 69-93 record, it was a very productive season for the Orioles, especially in the offseason. They made a number of trades that would really help them in the long run. The first trade was David Hernandez and a guy that nobody ever heard of, Cal McColio. We traded both of them to the Diamondbacks in exchange for Mark Reynolds, who that year batted .221 and hit 37 home runs for us, along with 86 RBIs. Didn't have the best average, but the 2 years we had him, he was a big part of the team. Then we traded Jim Hoey for J.J. Hardy. Jim Hoey was never anything, but J.J. Hardy is an Oriole legend. That year he batted .269, hit 30 home runs, and had 80 RBIs. Another trade we made, we traded Koji Ohara, who was our best reliever at the time by far, for Chris Davis and Tommy Hunter. I think the Orioles won that trade, even though Ohara went on to be good after that as well. That year, Matt Wieters broke out. He was an All-Star, very good catcher. Pretty much worth it for how high we drafted him. And then we got some veteran help from Derek Lee, who was our first baseman, and Vladimir Guerrero, who is now a Hall of Famer, and he would retire after that season along with Derek Lee. But the last day in baseball, 2011, that's really when the Orioles broke out.